Yes, we are going to continue. We are going to look at operators, PHP operators once again. Actually, we've discussed some operators, almost all of them. Okay, but there are a few ones I want to mention as well. We've discussed arithmetic operators. We've discussed assignments operators. You know, when we say arithmetic, we're talking about plus, minus, multiplication, division, percentage, modulus, and all the rest of them. Then we also discussed assignment operators. That is when we talk about equal sign, we talk about plus equal, okay, and all the rest of them. Then we also discussed about comparison operator, and that is where we discussed about greater than sign, less than sign, greater than or equals to, less than or equals to sign. Okay, good. Then we've discussed about increment and decrement operators. Increment and decrement. Increment is used to increase by 1, like plus plus. Okay, decrement is used to decrease by 1, minus minus. Okay, we've also discussed it. Okay, then I want to talk about identical operator. That is identical operator. Actually, identical operator is another very important operator we must discuss. It is actually part of comparison operator, okay? But we didn't discuss it in our previous tutorial, so we are going to talk about it right now. Okay? Alright, I'm going to delete this because we're done with it. Good. Now, let's assume you have number 1 and number 2. Let's say both number 1, number 2. This is 5. Both are 5. Number 1 is 5. Number 2 is 5. But both are not the same type. Both are not the same data type. The number 1 data type is int, that is integer. Okay, but number 2 data type is string because it is in quote. You get that? If you are used to this code, let me give you this code so that you understand it. Okay, it is a string, but this one is an integer. But both are the same thing. Both are 5. Now let's discuss this comparison operator so you understand it. Comparison operator, but identical operator particularly. This identical operator actually tests if two values are of the same type. Number 1, if they are the same thing, then if they are of the same type. Okay? If they are not the same type, that's if they are equal to each other but they are not the same type, it's going to be, the result is going to be false. Do you understand? Yeah. But if they are equal but are the same type, great. Now let's see, you say if number is identical, this is the sign, 3 equals sign, okay? 3 equals sign, that is identical sign, okay? 3 equals sign. You know, equals to is 2 double equal sign, right? While 1 equal sign is assignment operator. Do you understand? Good. So you say if number is identical to number 2, that's variable number 2. Number 2, come down here, we open it, echo true. Echo, let's say echo identical, else echo not echo, yeah, echo not so let me make a space, not identical, identical. Okay, now let's check and see what we get. You see, not identical. Okay, now let's use the equal sign. Let's see what we're going to get. You see, identical. Now you can understand the value right now clearly if you actually follow this. You see that equal sign, this 5 and this 5, they are the same 5, isn't it? That is, this and this are equal, but they are different types. This one is a string, while this one is an int. Any value that is within a quote is a string, okay? But you see, a value like 1, 2, 3, 4 that is not within a quote is an integer. Do you understand? So that is why if I put this, it means that they are not, I mean, it's not checking whether they are identical. Do you understand? If they are of the same type, if they are of the same type and they are equal, then it will work. Let me make them equal and of the same type. This time around, both are the same type and they are equal. Let's see what we'll get now. You get identical, isn't it? Yeah, because both are now of the same type and are equal. So please understand this identical operator, which is part of so identical operator is part of the comparison operator. Okay, you can also say not identical by removing one equal sign and putting exclamation mark this way. This means not identical. If number is not identical to number 2, echo this. If they are identical, echo this. Do you understand? This is not identical. Okay. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to, if they are not identical, that means I'm going to change this. Let me put it here. I just dragged it, okay? Just block this and drag it again down. Okay, that's how it's supposed to be. So if number, which is this one, is not identical to number 2, which is this one, let this echo not identical. Else, let this echo identical. You get that? And when you shake this and this, they are identical because they are just 5, 5, and they are of the same types. Okay, which means this is supposed to echo identical. Okay, let's try and see. Though identical is here already, if you click, you see we still get identical. But if I should put one of these, let me put this one. Let me make this one a string. This one is a string right now. If I should check it now, you see not identical because one is a string, the other is an int. Okay, so that is not identical operator, which is also part of comparison operators. Thank you. Yeah, there's another operators I want us to check. They are logical operators. Logical operators. So that is operators you use for your logics. Okay, yeah, logical operators. And these are some of them. Let me list them out for you. Some of the ones we are going to check now. These are the ones we are going to check. Let me put it in a comment. Okay, number 1 is going to check and, then we're going to check or. Okay, then we're going to check and, just like this, and or, just like this. Okay, let's see what we're going to get. They are logical operators. Now let's start from and. Let's see what we get. Okay. The and operator, this is used when you want to check if both values are true. Now if both, maybe two values, you are checking two values, two or more values, and you want to know whether they are true. If both are true, a particular code will run. If one of them is true and the other is not true, the code will not run. Both must be true for the code to run. That's the idea. Now let's try it. Let's say if number equals to 5, okay, and then you put and here, then I have to remove this one, okay, and number 2 equals to 5 run. Maybe echo successful. Maybe here echo failed. Good. So we want to check this condition right now. This is number, so we are checking number. Okay, let me just say number 1 so that it will make more sense here. So I put number 1 here. So if we say number 1, if number 1 is equals to 5 and number 2 is equals to 5, echo successful, else echo failed. Let's see what we get. We run, we see successful. Okay, because both are 5. Okay, it didn't actually consider the type. Okay, both are 5 because we are using equal sign. What if we use identical? Maybe if number 1 is identical to 5, number 2 is identical to 5. What do we get? Right, check. You see failed. The reason is because this number 1 is a string, but this one is an int. This one is an integer, okay? And this number 2 is okay. So one value is correct, the other is not. Okay? What if I should make this to be a string? If number 1 is identical to this, and this one identical to this. Let's see what we get. Successful. You get that? So you see that the two conditions were met comfortably. You get that? Now, that is for AND. For AND, both conditions must be true for there to be a positive result. Otherwise, you get a negative result. Okay? So having said that, let's quickly consider this OR. Let's see their difference. Okay, let me remove this again. So right now you see that this number, maybe let me change this entirely to another thing so that you understand. Let's say 2. Okay, let me also leave this 5 the way it is. So maybe here I change 10. Then I will now change the OR to OR. I will change this to OR. If you look at your keyboard close to your backspace, okay, under your back, actually under, very much under your backspace, you are going to see this sign, this OR. Okay, once you hold down Shift, you press that key. Okay, that is actually where you also see backward slash. Okay, press that key, the OR will appear. That is directly under your backspace key. Okay, good. So this is the OR. Okay, I will remove AND completely. Yeah, now this is actually saying if number 1 is equals to 10 or number 2 is equals to 5, echo successful. Otherwise, echo failed. So what it's actually saying is this, that if number 1 is equals to 10, well, let's check, is number 1 equal to 10? No. That means this condition is false. Or number 2 is equals to 5. Let's check, is number 2 equals to 5? Good, it is equals to 5. That means number 2 is correct. One condition is correct here, the other one is not correct. So let's see what we get. We still get successful, isn't it? Reason is because one condition is correct. So this OR is used to check if a particular if one condition is true. If one condition is true, then it's going to echo successful. Even if other conditions are false, as long as one condition is met. Are you getting me? As long as one condition is met, it will echo successful. Do you get that? Good. But if you use AND, it means that both conditions must be true. Are you getting me? If we move into other detail, the programming, it will make more sense to you. Okay, so that is the AND operator. So the last thing we are going to look at, when you use AND like this, instead of using the sign AND. Let's see what we are going to get. Failed. So the AND is also working. So you either use this or you use this. They are the same. They are going to give you the same result. Are you getting me? When you use AND like this, you are actually doing the same thing like you did with the other AND. Okay, that this condition and this condition must be true before you echo successful. Otherwise, you echo failed. Okay, the same thing with this OR. We use OR like this. Okay, you're also saying either this or this. Okay, that is to say, if any condition here is correct, echo successful, otherwise failed. Okay, if you check right now, it is successful because one condition there is true. Do you get that? So that is it. Thank you so much. I believe we are moving.